Hello everybody, I'm Laura.
And I'm Shanae.
And we are
the
Story Seekers.
So today we are talking about haunted movie sets where the scares weren't all special effects. So we all love a good scare, right? I mean, I love horror films, both the genuinely terrifying and the absolutely terrible ones.
Yeah.
My mom used to say that I have a talent for picking low budget films.
That's quite the talent.
We would go to like the video store to get VHS tapes.
Oh, Blockbuster.
Yes, and I would always pick out probably the shittiest
Probably on offer as well. You
Yeah.
probably saved your mum some cash there.
one. Probably. But I like the low budget horror movies too. And if horror is not your thing more, you might be in the wrong place.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy scary movies?
I do. Yeah, I've always had like a bit of a fascination. I'm similar when I was younger. We always watched like weird things we found at the video shop.
We're so old.
But yeah, like starting sleepovers.
Yes.
I've always, like, my dad really likes like all my family actually like apart from my youngest brother, everyone likes supernatural movies, scary movies. I like a bit of everything. Yeah, like jump scare, horror.
Same. For me, I don't like jump scares. I prefer more of a psychological thing.
So.
What do you think was the first horror movie that you ever watched?
I think probably What Lies Beneath. I mentioned it before, that like old one. And then I got into like, when I was a teenager, we got into like The Ring and Signs, like alien movies. I loved stuff like that.
Sci-fi.
Yeah. The Others. Yeah.
Right. Those were very scary.
Yeah.
I think for me it was Dead Silence.
Okay.
From 2007. It's about a murderous ventriloquist dummy and the creepy dolls of Mary Shaw.
Oh, okay.
And I think Mary Shaw is an actual
I think she is.
person.
Yeah.
Was honestly, I'm not sure if it was the first horror movie that I watched, but it's definitely the one that got under my skin.
Okay.
And I hate dolls so much probably because of this movie, most likely.
Yeah.
Especially puppets. Whew.
Yeah, creepy old, like, we have ventriloquist dolls.
Yeah, it's so creepy. My grandmother had in her spare bedroom, so every time we'd come and visit, she would have these dolls on little corner shelves in the room. Now, I'm great if you have a porcelain doll, it's fine. Those don't creep me out. But there was this one, I think it was a rag doll. This doll always freaked me out. Just made me so uncomfortable. I would, every time we would go there, and I wasn't allowed to touch these dolls because they were old. But this doll, I would turn her around.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I would do the same.
No, I would turn her around and I would apologize to her for some reason.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, but I want to sleep
tonight.
Hated
Child
that
sense,
doll.
yeah.
Terrifying.
Sticks with you though, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I after watching, I remember being quite young and watching Signs, like the Alien movie, Mel Gibson movie. And there's like a scene where, just like a simple scene where the alien just walks past the window.
Yes.
And honestly, that like shook me to my core. And I used to
imagine
do it
you
to my
screaming.
brother. I used to like wind my brother up and like walk past the window, but actually I was frightened. Like I would
you're
be,
walking past the window, you're freaking yourself out.
Freaking myself out, yeah. Poor Charlie.
My brother and I had this thing with turning off lights. So when we watched a movie in the living room, all the lights in the house had to be off. Just the TV should be on. But then we'd walk to the kitchen to turn off the light, and then you just hear just like running.
Oh, creepy children.
Run.
Oh God.
Creepy. Just because we were scared of the dark. So you turn off the kitchen light.
The thrill of it.
And then you have to run to the living room to sit in more darkness. Why do you think so many of us love scary movies?
I think, just like the thrill of it. It's like we've spoken about this before, but like it's a really kind of fun feeling to feel scared and then instantly better. It's like a quick high and then down again.
Yes, I think it's very primal.
Yeah.
If you play with the tension and the anticipation and the dread.
Yeah.
And our brains can't help but react.
Yeah.
Because our brains don't know the difference between, they think that that's happening to us. That's why we get that feeling. But also, we're watching a movie, so we're still safe. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to be scared, but you can get out of it so quickly because you are safe. You're in a safe space. You get your heart pounding without actually putting yourself in actual danger. Personally, I think horror is still at its best when it builds suspense.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the alien walking. Just like a quick glimpse.
Yeah, just
when it holds back just long enough to let your imagination run.
Yeah.
A lot of bad horror movies lose the grip when the monster's revealed.
Okay.
Because your brain goes, oh, that's fake.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, oh, that looks like rubber.
Fear of the unknown.
That's a mask.
Yeah.
A lot of it, pay attention if you're watching a horror movie, the moment the bad guy is, especially when it's monster, when they reveal the monster, when they reveal the creature, most of the time that's when you kind of start dropping.
I felt like that with Insidious. I thought that was a really good movie.
Yes.
And then as soon as I saw like the creature, I was like, oh, it's just hilarious.
Exactly.
And it, like the whole time was like, possession and being haunted.
That
and then,
demon.
the demon, the red face. And
Yes. I agree. I think the only one really that scared the living shit out of me when I saw her was the Ring.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And The Grudge. Was it Grudge?
They were just like, they're just weird movies, aren't they? Like, they're
very
so different, very Asian kind of.
Yes. One of my students has super long hair, and she likes to freak my teaching assistant out. She flips her hair over her face and then walks to the teaching assistant really slowly, and my TA cannot handle it. It freaks her out so she always goes, no, sit down. Stop it. It's so scary.
She watched The Ring.
Yes.
The camera rolls, the lights dim, and somewhere, just out of frame, something stirs.
A sudden gust on a sealed set. A scream that wasn't in the script. An actor who never forgot what they saw behind the scenes because it followed them home.
From cursed props and accidents on set to full-blown hauntings and unexplained deaths, some films seem to carry more than just a storyline. They reopened Stage 12 in October, after 35 years of closed doors and silence. The decision came from the top, from the kind of studio executive who didn't know what happened there 15 years ago, or he pretended not to. To him, there was just a space, empty real estate with history that could be paved over and dressed up for the camera. Nobody would ever know. His name was Neil Ford, and to him, it was an opportunity. He was a horror director clawing his way out of Hollywood's B-list gutter. He saw it for its opportunities. Small cast, one location, a bit of depth, easy on the budget, get a few young, easy on the eye kids to take away the mediocre plot. Everything would be okay, except for the smell. It hit the crew the first time they walked in. The doors opened. Not rot, not mold, but something sweet, unnaturally sweet. It's just old insulation, Neil muttered. No one argued, no one lingered. They all needed the cash. They started filming the second week of October. The script was typical. Young teenagers forced into the woods, some unknown presence watching them. Just typical, really. But the real haunting didn't begin until scene 9. The playback on the day of filming that scene was always glitching. The audio layers didn't exist. Images flickered between the frames. Neil blamed the incompetent staff. "We'll fix it in the edit," he said. But the editor swore the files were clean, uncorrupted. "That voice," the actors said, "baked into the footage. Can't you hear it?" Neil leaned in to listen. Beneath the actor's lines, a child's voice whispered like breath on glass. "I'm not done." That night, Cassia, the lead, she stayed behind. She said she needed to feel the space. Actors say things like that. Neil let her, young and thirsty for fame. When the crew arrived early the next day, she was still there, blurry-eyed, wearing yesterday's clothes. Everyone said she partied too hard. "There was a boy," she said, her voice thin. "He watched me all night. He didn't move. He just stared at me. Do you know him? He scared me." Neil tried to laugh it off, but her performance that day was electric. Almost haunted, real. Too real. They found the tape the following week. It was discovered behind a false wall, unearthed by a grisp chasing lost cable, an unlabelled VHS, dusty but still intact. The footage was grainy, shot on an old handheld camera. There he was, Liam Marlowe, 9 years old, standing in full costume under studio lights, all alone. He looked past the camera. "Do I have to do it again?" he asked, small voice tight with strain. "I don't like it. It's too loud. I've done it too many times." He flinched, then smiled too quickly, as if someone behind the lens demanded it. Then the screen burst into static. Neil didn't finish watching. He didn't need to. He'd heard the stories. I mean, everyone in the industry had. They just didn't talk about them. A freak accident, a young star's death, lawsuits and hush money, parents moved away, director disappeared, studio locked, the set and the dust settling. But there was certainly talk amongst his close circles. But now, here was the proof. The real breakdown began in scene 18. Cameras refused to focus. Lights burst without warning. Fixtures collapsed mid-shot. Neil's ears started to ring. He woke up on the set floor. All he could hear was the scream in his ears. After that, most of the crew walked. The rest stayed only because they couldn't afford not to, or they wanted to make it into a TikTok post. And still, pages kept appearing. Fresh script revisions, lines no one wrote, pages printed on paper. And the production office always swore they'd never done it. All of the scripts ended the same way. "Let me finish." Neil couldn't sleep. He'd been told to take a break. He was too old, a wasted up old sort who couldn't hack it anymore. But the set called to him in his dreams. Half-lit hallways, the soft wine gliding across the bare floors, and always at the edge of the frame, a child's silhouette, watching and waiting. So he rewrote the final scene. Might as well go out with a bang, he thought. A single child, unnamed, stepping from the ruins of the ghost town. No lines, just presence. A silent monologue. Redemption, maybe. Maybe Neil wasn't a complete scumbag after all. If anything, he'd do it for the memory of this poor kid. They filmed it at dawn. Cassia stood alone, facing the camera, framed by the ruined buildings and fading fog. No one spoke, no one dared. It was the only take they did that day. When they played the footage back, they saw her standing there, still and serene, and behind her, in the shadows, the small boy, Liam. Not angry, not mournful, just done. The film wrapped up quietly. They passed it off as special effects or a little Easter egg for fans to think about. It premiered with not many fans, no press screening, and it slipped into the streaming queues late one night under the title Ghost Town 2024. And yet, it found an audience. People cried during the final scene. They didn't know why. Reviewers called it eerie. A few online conspiracy threads tried to connect it to the death of Liam, but they were drowned out by memes and reaction videos. Just another horror flick with an unforgettable ending. Just another whisper. Stage 12 remains closed now. Security patrols occasionally report lights flickering inside. Motion sensors pick up figures that shouldn't be there. Sometimes, during storms, the building hums with a tune no one can place. And sometimes, a child's voice, soft and insistent. I'm ready now.
Creepy. Very
I wish I could nail
eerie.
the creepy American kid voice.
You did. Did a light smash him? Because that's how I imagine he died.
That's what I imagined, yeah.
Really?
Like something collapsed on him. And then I was thinking of the idea like maybe he was just overworked and the director was just a crazy person. But
yeah,
I think about like...
I just saw the classic, like the big light.
Yeah, falling on him.
Very theatre-esque.
Yeah.
So the best horror, in my opinion, leaves something behind. A feeling, a thought, a shadow that wasn't there before. But what happens when the fear doesn't stay on screen? What if the horror follows the cast and the crew offset into real life? Because some films seem to carry more than just a creepy script. Some productions have been plagued with accidents, tragedies, and eerie events that no one can quite explain. So I have a list. I'm not going to be talking about all of them, but these are some of the movies that had some weird stuff happen. So we have Poltergeist, Annabelle, The Conjuring, The Exorcist, Rosemary's Baby, The Omen, and The Ring. So those are a few movies, but I'm going to talk about the 1982 film Poltergeist.
Okay.
So Poltergeist is a seemingly idyllic suburban family. The Freelings find themselves living in a nightmare. Have you watched Poltergeist?
Yeah,
Okay.
a long time ago, but yeah.
Okay, good. At first, the paranormal activity in their home is almost playful. Chairs move on their own, light flickers. I don't know how that's playful. But, no, thank you, no more playing. But the tone shifts quickly when their youngest daughter, Carol Ann, is taken by a malevolent force into another dimension. The haunting becomes a full-blown horror. With the help of paranormal investigators and a spiritual medium, the family has to face the entity head on to bring the girl back. But what played out on screen was only half the horror story, because off screen, Poltergeist became infamous, not just for its scares, but for what many now believe was a real life curse. So the set of Poltergeist the movie is said to be cursed.
Okay.
4 cast members died during or shortly after production of the original film and sequels.
Oh dear.
Some of these are suspiciously spread out.
Right.
So I wouldn't quite say they're 4 deaths that happened. 2 of them happened close to the movie, and then the other 2 quite a bit long after.
Okay.
I wouldn't say personally, but let me tell you. Heather O'Rourke, hope I'm saying that right, who played Carol Ann, the little girl taken by the spirits, was just 12 years old when she died. She'd been misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease and later collapsed from what the doctors initially thought was the flu. She suffered a cardiac arrest and passed away during emergency surgery. So she was the main character.
Did not know that.
Dominique Dune, who played her older sister Dana, met a tragic end only months after the film's release. She was attacked by her ex-boyfriend, John Thomas Sweeney, who strangled her in the driveway of her home.
Oh, God.
She died days later in the hospital. He was convicted but served only 3 years of a 6.5-year sentence.
What the fuck?
Only 6 years for
America.
Julian Beck, the actor who played the terrifying Reverend Kane in Poltergeist 2, was already battling stomach cancer when he took the role. He died before the film was released. Will Sampson, who played Taylor the shaman in Poltergeist 2, died at age 53 after complications from a heart and lung transplant. Some say that Sampson, a Native American actor and actual spiritual practitioner, performed a cleansing ritual on set to ease the growing unease amongst the cast and crew. Afterwards, the strange occurrences reportedly stopped. And then there's Lo Perryman, who played Pugsley in the original film. Years later, he was murdered in his home by an intruder, seemingly at random. The killer claimed that he just wanted to steal Perryman's car.
Right.
In one of the last scenes, the mother, Diane Freeling, is pulled into a swimming pool filled with skeletons. This is a very, very famous scene. Years later, it would be revealed that to save money, instead of creating fake skeletons, it was apparently cheaper to just get real-life human skeletons. I keep wanting to say skeletons. At the time of filming, the actress who played Diane, Jo Beth Williams, didn't know that the skeletons were real. She said in an interview that I saw while researching, she said that she was in that water for days, just filming and filming. And she said it was crazy when she found out.
I would be livid.
Years later, I think she said she ran into one of the prop guys or something, the head guy, and said, "Oh, that must have taken you guys so long to make them." And he said, "No, we didn't. It was too expensive because they all still kind of have tendons and stuff on. So they would have had to do it with a rubber." I'll show you a picture.
Oh my God.
Of it. It's really creepy. And it's been proven as well.
Do they know who the people were?
No, I don't know.
That's so weird.
I don't know how deep they went into it. I don't know.
That's so crazy.
Weird, right? Maybe Jane Doe's and like...
Yeah, people that donated their bodies for stuff.
Science, movies.
Oh my God.
And I wonder if, obviously, having real life human remains didn't contribute to the hauntings.
Yeah, possible.
Yeah. Of course, skeptics will say that all of these incidents can be explained away. Illness, crime, coincidence. But when so many lives are cut short and so many eerie details line up behind the scenes of a film about the dead not staying dead, it's hard not to wonder. The next movie is The Conjuring. So The Conjuring is a 2013 horror film directed by James Wan and starring Patrick Wilson and Farrah Farmiga as paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren. Do you know who they are?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they were demonologists, and the movie was loosely based on the Warrens' real life investigation, focusing on a case where they are called to help a family terrorized by a dark presence in their farmhouse. But during the production of the film, there were reports of strange things happening. Apparently, Vera Farmiga, the actress who portrayed Lorraine Warren, developed some sleeping problems during filming. She would wake up every night between the hours of 3 and 4. This hour of the day is known as the witching hour, when the veil between the worlds and the afterlife is at its thinnest. So people call it witching hour, others call it the devil's hour.
Okay.
Vera also experienced 3 scratch marks on her laptop screen that just appeared out of nowhere and then disappeared. And later on, she found 3 scratch marks on her thigh. Joey King, the actress who played Christine, now this is the creepiest one, the main character in The Conjuring, reportedly experienced a rare blood disorder whilst filming The Conjuring 2013, which involved unexplained bruises and platelet count low enough to cause internal bleeding.
Oh, God.
She stated that her platelet count was severely depleted during filming, and after returning home, the disorder resolved, and her blood has been normal ever since. Creepy.
That is really creepy.
Very creepy. On the set, the actors and crew would hear strange noises, as well as find that objects had been moved with no one knowing who had moved them. Curtains would move as if someone were hiding behind them, but when they checked, there would be no one there. Frances O'Connor, who portrayed Peggy, revealed that the priest actually blessed the set at the beginning of production. Last one.
Okay.
Saving the best for last. Lastly, one of the scariest and most unsettling movies of all time also holds the title for the most haunted film set. And that is, can you guess?
The Exorcist.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Exorcist 1973. Now, I'm not going to lie, when I was researching this, it made me want to say a prayer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It made me so uncomfortable researching this. There's a lot of videos of when they released it, getting people's reactions, and people were passing out in the cinemas.
Yeah.
It was very...
Like a lot for its time,
yes,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Incredible.
People leaving the cinema and being sick and stuff.
Yes. For those of you that don't know, The Exorcist is based on a 1971 novel by the same name, written by William Peter Blatty, and is about a young girl who is possessed and the 2 Catholic priests that attempt to rescue her through an exorcism. The film was released in cinema in December 1973, and there are videos online of people being interviewed before and after seeing this film. It was so traumatizing to people that many people passed out in the cinema, and many people had to leave midway through the screening because they simply couldn't take it. In today's day and age, people are a lot more desensitized to horror in particular and gore that more than they were back then. And The Exorcist really was the first time people were exposed to this kind of intense cinematic work. The FX in this film was out of this world, and the dread that the film portrays was intense. Although the film is set in Washington, D.C., many of the scenes were shot in New York City. The film's opening scenes were shot in Mosul, Iraq, which was difficult to organize because at the time the US and Iraq didn't have diplomatic relations. So the director had to negotiate filming arrangements with local officials in exchange for hiring locals as workers and crew. The film was scheduled to be shot within 85 days, but it ended up taking over 200 days to complete. The reason was due to all of the production problems and accidents. Many of the cast and crew members suffered injuries that would hinder production, so much so that they started to suspect that the sets were cursed. William Friedkin was an incredibly demanding director and pushed everyone well past their comfort zone and at times pushed them too far. He apparently had Reagan's room, the room where the exorcism took place, refrigerated so that the cameras would pick up the actor's breath. He would allegedly hide guns around the set that he would shoot to startle the cast and help their frightened expressions at the right time.
Oh God, psycho.
Just shooting guns.
Not the kind of boss you want, is it?
No. And the actress that played Reagan, when she was in that room, she only had like a nightgown on. So it must have been freezing.
Yeah.
Ellen Burstyn, who played Chris McNeil, permanently injured her spine whilst filming. It was during the scene where Reagan, the possessed girl, threw her across the room. Ellen had a wire connected to her and a stuntman had to pull her using a rope. Ellen had complained to the director saying that he was pulling too hard, but the director's only reply was that it had to look realistic. On the final take, Ellen had landed wrong and an extreme pain shot through her back. She screamed in pain and the director took the opportunity to close up on her. The 13-year-old Linda Blair, who portrayed Rogan, also suffered an irreversible injury to her back. There's a scene where Rogan is thrashing on her bed. To make the scene possible, they had strapped Blair to a plank that would thrash her up and down. So it's like sitting up, lying down, sitting up, lying down. But one of the straps had come loose, and this caused her back not to be supported by the plank.
Bashing her around.
In the scene, you see Rogan crying and in pain. Well, this was the moment where real-life Blair had fractured her spine.
Ouch.
She dealt with years and years of back pain after this incident, and eventually led to scoliosis.
Oh God.
Around 9 people associated with the film died while the film was in production. The director had asked Father Thomas Birmingham, a technical advisor on the film, to bless the set, but he refused, stating that he didn't want to upset the crew and workers. He, however, did bless the cast as he thought that they needed it. Days later, the McNeil house set would go up in flames in the early hours of the day, later revealed to have been caused by a bird flying into a light box. Reagan's room, however, was built separately, a little bit away from the rest of the house. So, where the entire set was burned to a cinder, the exorcist room still stood untouched. Creepy.
Dark entity.
Oof, I felt
something weird.
Uncomfortable looking at the scenes.
Yeah.
And then knowing that these people are in actual pain, and then using that in the movie.
That's crazy. Like people like really injuring themselves on set, and then the director using it.
Yeah, and closing up on her. She said she was very angry at him because no one came to help her instantly. They just went on with it. Crazy.
God. Don't be an actor.
Actors be acting.
Yeah, back in the day as well. That would. Oh, it's awful. Thanks for joining us on set for another spooky episode of The Story Seekers.
I'm Shanae, and I'll be hiding behind the boom mic with a crucifix and a flashlight.
And I'm Laura, and I'd like to formally announce I will not be starring in Poltergeist 4.
Bye!
Bye!